This afternoon. We're really excited to celebrate Pride here in the state of Ohio and certainly in the city of Columbus. I want to first start off here locally. Tomorrow we host Columbus Pride, where more than 700,000 of our folks will gather. More than 22,000 marchers will go down High Street to celebrate the accomplishments that we have made over the years, but also to recommit ourselves to the work that lies ahead. I want our residents to know that tomorrow will be safe. It will be fun. We will look out for one another. Both Stonewall police and non-police folks are working to continue to make sure that we host the most safe Pride in our country. So as we prepare for tomorrow, we've been reflecting on how Pride has changed, though, over the years. The origins of Stonewall were a riot against police raids. Early Prides were somber and secretive, with folks wearing masks or paying in cash to make sure they couldn't be tracked. As our movement has grown, though, and became mainstream, Pride has become a party, a celebration of visibility. But today, as we face attacks from certain politicians and extremists who back them, folks who want to erase our love, who want to bully our kids, Pride needs to become more than just a party. It needs to be a show of force, of solidarity. So we are here to say that we are here, we are loud, and we are proud, and we're going to take care of one another. And it's also important to know that Pride has always been political. But as it has become more commercialized, we can't let it become sterile or sanitized. It needs to stay political. And that's why elected officials across the state of Ohio came together to talk policy. We have state senators, we have council members, we have school board members, we have health care providers, we have township trustees, all coming together to have a robust discussion about what we can do locally to protect one another and about the advocacy at state level. We know that Ohio is losing workers because people are scared to come here, to bring their whole selves and their whole families. And that's why this is not just an altruistic thing that we talk about, it's an economic dollars and cents conversation. When Columbus is welcoming, it grows our city. It invites more folks in. And likewise, when the state of Ohio is open and welcoming, we're able to attract more folks who want to be a part of this great state. So as someone who has been an amazing advocate for an inclusive Ohio, I want to bring to the podium my friend, our leader, Senate Minority Leader, Nikki Antonio.
Who is a little vertically challenged. Well, thank you. Thank you, everyone. And I am so happy. Thank you again, City Council President Shannon Hardin, for your leadership, for convening us all today, and for your words for this upcoming Pride celebration in Columbus. We had ours in Cleveland a few weeks ago, and I'm jealous, but we don't have the numbers yet. We have the grit, and we're going to get there eventually. And it is a celebration. Those were beautiful words, but also it is a recommitment, because our equality does not exist today for everyone from the LGBTQ community. Our right to exist is challenged weekly in the place where I work, in the State House, by folks who would send us back to the closet. There is no closet big enough to contain us, and hell no, we're not going, right? Those were dark days. And the reason for Pride, the reason why Pride even started, it was a riot. It was a response to brutality and to a society that did not want to see us, even though we are part of the fabric of this state, of this city, of this country. The people behind me have stepped up in leadership positions all across the state to provide good public policy public service in spite of any barriers that have been thrown in front of them. I don't know about you, but that's the definition of courage, commitment, and service to me. And I think it's also something to be celebrated. We have the opportunity during Pride Month to shine a light on the amazing tapestry of our community. We are different, and yet together we create a fabulous tapestry that serves the people of Ohio every day. And I'll underscore also what Council President Hardin said. If Ohio wants to move forward economically and participate in a global economy, then we need to be a place that welcomes everyone. Young people, whether they're from the LGBTQ community or not, want to live in a place where they, their families, and their friends are welcome. They want to raise their children in a place that's safe for all children, that welcomes all children to be their authentic selves. This is the work that we have yet to do. This is the work that Pride this week, this month, this is how we recommit. Yes, we're going to celebrate because we are fabulous. Yeah. But we are also dedicated to making sure that Ohio, first of all, has a heart. You know, people say it's the heart of it all. Well, I want to see the heart extended to the members of the LGBTQ community so they can live, work, and raise a family here. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Councilman Reggie.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
From Cincinnati.
Thank you so much, Council President Hardin. Thank you for inviting me and for having us, Leader Antonio, for all of your leadership. The Council President is known for saying that we all stand on your shoulders, and so I thank you for all of that. Reggie Harris, Cincinnati City Council member. I bring greetings from Southwest Ohio. I also want to share next weekend is Cincinnati's Pride, so everyone is invited to come down next weekend and join us, and every year it gets bigger and bigger. The one point that I do want to make, and I want to hone in about the convening today, is about a collective policy work to make sure that across the state, in our largest cities, in our counties, in our smallest municipalities, that there is an ecosystem, an economic ecosystem that supports LGBTQ plus folks, uplifts us, and acknowledge our participation as being an economic engine in the state. LGBTQ people across the United States are a key economic population that is targeted by business, is targeted by brands and marketing, and yet we face a disproportionate amount of discrimination. And we have all collectively decided that that is unacceptable, and so we have to move strategically. And so yes, there's about representation and pride and celebration and showing up, but what are the core policies that are running cities, that are running counties? How are we using economic development dollars to ensure that LGBTQ businesses thrive? How are we using dollars that are dedicated to housing to make sure that as our LGBTQ population is aging, that there are housing and opportunities there for them, right? So we can reflect on the progress that we have made, and we can celebrate that, but we also have to be very steadfast in that you can tell the measure of a country, of a city, of a state, and by the way it treats its most marginalized. And if we can create an opportunity in which we show compassion and smart economic investment that uplifts the most marginalized, then we just have better cities. We have better states. We have a better country. We believe, we recommit to the promise of America. We recommit to the social contract. And that is really just an important pathway to the healing that we need to see take place in an incredibly polarized community. So again, Council President Hardin, thank you so much for having us, and thank you all for being here. I'm sorry. Who am I? Oh, go ahead, Nick. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Hello. And now Nick. I like that. Hello, I bring greetings from Northwest Ohio. My name is Nick Comives. I'm a Toledo City Council member at large up in Toledo. And I'm also here with my good friend, Sheena Barnes, who's on Toledo School Board. And we're really proud to be in Columbus today, not just because it's Pride Weekend, but I'm really proud to be among these really dedicated and incredible public servants that are fighting every day for the things that we don't always think are the most pressing or the most important. We get to deal with potholes, we get to deal with drainage and sewage and all of these things that many of us take for granted. But I think what is important is that for many of us, those are the things that we want to be focused on, because those are the things that do make thriving communities when you have solid infrastructure, good policies in place that promote the people that live there. Because when I go back home to Toledo, people aren't going to talk to me about whether or not trans kids should be able to find affirming care, because they know that they should. These are discussions that are happening, and no offense, but in the state legislature. They're not happening in our communities because our people already know and want to accept and embrace everybody. And so when I go home, I'm looking forward to the incredible conversations about how we continue to progress our city, to progress Toledo. And we had a conversation today about how we progress Ohio. And we are committed to progressing Ohio, not to holding us back. And so I can't wait to go back and see the residents of Toledo, and I can't wait to celebrate with them at our Pride in August, by the way. We started our Pride a little bit later than a lot of the other places, and so we do ours in August, so that way all of you fine folks can join us then. So please come up in August and join us in Pride. But huge thanks to Council President Shannon Hardin for putting this together. Thank you, Leader Antonio, for joining us today as well. And thanks to you all for showing up to make sure that we can tell this really important story. Thank you.
So with that, there are so many leaders here with so many stories of advocacy and the work that they're independently doing in their school districts and their cities and their towns. So with that, we'll do one-on-ones, if that's okay. We'll open it up for folks to talk to any of the elected officials or advocates that we have behind us. Would you like to,
Can you just tell us a bit about this collaboration and where you hope to see it go?
Sure. So this is the second year that we've invited elected officials and allies from around the state to come together, specifically during Pride, to make sure that, as we said, that we weren't just having the party, that we were slowing down. I mean, last year at the State House, there were so many conversations, there were so many bills that were moving forward, attacking trans youth in particular, and we didn't think that it was right to not have, as out elected officials, not have a platform, a space where we could come together, where we could share resources, where we could lean on one another, where we could be educated by a Senator Antonio about what we could do in our own communities to support, advance, and protect the folks that we represent.
Great. Anybody needs any more?